Muhammad Shariff are going to talk about ionizing radiation types and characteristics. Before that, what is radiation? In physics, radiation is the emission or transmission of energy in the form of wave or particles through space or through material medium. Radiation can be classified into ionizing and non-ionizing. Ionizing radiation is the radiation composed of particles that individually carry enough energy to liberate an electron from an atom or molecule. Ionizing radiation can ionize matter either directly or indirectly. Directly ionizing radiation involving a charged particles like electrons, protons, and particles like alpha and beta.
This is example for directly ionizing radiation.
While the indirectly ionizing radiation involving neutral particles like X-rays, gamma rays, and neutrons.
And this is example for indirectly ionizing radiation.
I want to present about the types of non-ion and their clinical effect. The type is radiofrequency and microwave frequency. These two types have a same clinical effect. There is a great deal of controversy regarding potential cancer risk, particularly when cell phone is used. Characteristic of radiofrequency: it has electric and magnetic field. For example, volt per meter and ampere per meter. Volt per meter is to measure the strength of electric field, and ampere meter to express the strength of magnetic field. After that, microwave frequency. Their wavelength 1 mm to 1 meter and frequency 300 GHz to 300 MHz. Photo energy 1.24 microvolt to 1.24 millivolt. Next is laser. Laser is the light amplification by stimulate emission of radiation. Their clinical effect is eye. Eye is more sensitive to inject from laser. Characteristic of laser: wavelength 700 nanometer to 100 nanometer. Their frequency 430 terahertz to 300 gigahertz, and photo energy 1.2 millivolt to 1.7 electrovolt. Next is infrared. Infrared clinical effect is penetrate superficial layers of the skin. Characteristic of infrared: their wavelength is 1 mm to 100 km, and its frequency 300 GHz to 300 kHz, and photo energy 12.4 photon voltage to 1.24 millivoltage. Furthermore is visible spectrum. Visible spectrum clinical effect is possibility of retina inject from 400 until 500 nanometer blue frequency. Characteristic of visible spectrum: wavelength 380 nanometer to 100 nanometer, and their frequency 790 terahertz to 430 terahertz, and its photo energy 1.7 electrovolt to 3.3 electrovolt. And the last one is ultraviolet radiation. The clinical effect is produce biologic effects on the skin and the eyes. Characteristic of ultraviolet radiation: their wavelength 10 nanometer to 380 nanometer, and its photo energy 3 electrovoltage to 124 electrovoltage.
Next, I will talk about application of ionizing in the industrial and medical field. First, food irradiation, medical equipment, and other substances are exposed to certain types of radiation to kill germs without harming the substance that is being disinfected. When treated in this manner, foods take much longer to spoil, and medical equipment are sterilized without being exposed to toxic chemicals and extreme heat. This is the example. Next, gas contains radioactive material that emits radiation and is used to measure the thickness of paper products, fruit levels in oil and chemical tanks, and the moisture and density of soil. In medical field, ionizing is used in diagnostic radiology to produce image of anatomical internal structures of human organs and functional biological systems. Next, radiation therapy utilizes ionizing radiation to treat malignant and benign diseases. Radiation therapy works by exploiting radiobiological differences between cancer and normal cells or tissues, and by depositing radiation dose in cancer tumors, while keeping doses to surrounding normal tissues below damaging thresholds as much as possible.
Last, the application of non-ionizing radiation in industry and medical. In industry, it is used in communication like radio station, broadcasting, telecommunication, surveillance and navigational system, and TV. So, the radiation that involved are radio frequency and microwave. It is practical due to their short wavelength and can produce high frequency to receive and transmit signal. Second example in industry like ultraviolet, it is used widely in investigating a criminal scene. It can detect saliva, blood, semen that gives off fluorescent light when illuminated by a source of ultraviolet. And one more thing, it can detect fingerprints. Now in medical, it is used to diagnose and treat disease by which producing an image of in the internal body. For example, MRI that used to detect abnormal tissue like tumor, cancer at your brain, blood vessel, legs and others. And other example, ultrasound can use to see baby in your mommy's tummy. And it also can detect tumor, cancer and many more. So radiation is very useful in our life. There may be a risk, but everything have its good behind it. Thank you.